Welcome back, family. This is your boy D. For all you smart and intelligent folks out there, listen, that just simply means Ed. I got a very hot one for you. I've been getting questions like, man, what does portfolio managers do? That's an excellent question because I had to go and do my homework, and because I did my homework, and I know you're an educated crowd, family, so I want to educate. I want to see what I knew myself. So let's see if I can unpack what is portfolio management. Again, what is portfolio management and project management? That's today's episode. But first, before we even do that, let's unpack what the definition is of a portfolio manager. Management refers to strategic coordination and governance of a collection of projects and programs that align with the organization's objective. If you don't know, I have a 7 point framework. After my 7 points, basically I'm out. So I hope this can really, if someone is making that transition from a program manager to portfolio manager, or maybe they even making it from project manager to portfolio manager, whatever that transition is for you, hopefully one of these points can resonate with you. Point number one, strategic objectives. Listen, as a portfolio manager, they start with the organization's strategic objectives, ensuring that every project or program in the portfolio contributes to achieving these goals. See, that's one thing I love about when, I've had the opportunity to be around portfolio managers. And when I've had that opportunity, the way that they think, they're always aligning all the programs and projects that and with where the organization is going, and such a high level. They were constantly in talk with the CEO or the CIO or the CFO, because of the fact that they had to ensure whatever the CEO's vision is for the company that year, it aligns with all the projects and programs that are in place. Point number two, project prioritization. In the context of portfolio management, projects are prioritized based on their alignment with the strategic objectives. For instance, like resource availability and potential benefits. When I say potential benefits, I'm not just talking monetary. I'm talking about the impact to the organization as a whole, from resources to brand building. It's so many. I can go on and really expound upon this. But what you have to understand, because I want us to get away from always digging into the cost of the monetary aspect, but also and keeping both of our eyes open to other aspects within the organization. Because we know without the proper resources in place, the cost doesn't even matter. Because if you don't have people in place to assist you with leading these projects, the project won't even happen. So the potential, that's what the portfolio manager really does. They look at all of the aspects of the business, not just how much is this going to cost. Let's move on to point number three. Resource allocation. See, that's where I was kind of moving towards, but it already aligns with my point. Really, portfolio managers oversee the allocation of resource, human, financial, as well as physical, to ensure that they optimize the best outcomes. Some of the top-notch portfolios that I've had an opportunity to interact with, uh, they're constantly doing a lot of mind mapping or a lot of brainstorming, and really and really the exceptional ones, they come down and start talking with project managers, holding one-on-ones with program managers, because they want to get to the root. They just don't want to do any surface like, oh well, this is, I'm the portfolio manager, so I just assume. No, they really connect with the people. And it's like that with in business. The best way to be able to connect with your audience is being able to be so humble that you want to learn from them, because more than more than often they're going to ask the probing question that's going to make you think like, wow, that was a great question. But if you're not humble enough to receive that question, or humble enough to receive that feedback, how are you going to have success on leading a huge portfolio? I'll digress on that. You know who the portfolio managers are out there that I'm talking to, but I won't say no names. Let's keep it moving. Point number four, risk management. Listen, an effective portfolio manager really involves a risk assessment and mitigation at the portfolio level to ensure that there is alignment with organizational risk tolerance. When you're from a portfolio standpoint, those are the things that, again, we have to understand that you can't miss, and I mean can't, because if you get so above yourself, or as I say, in your own way, and you don't account for any risks that you know are blatantly in your face, is really going to really hurt your program manager. You know, they say it's sort of like that analogy. Water rolls downhill. And so it'd be the same thing where all the pain that the portfolio manager is experiencing because they thought they were too high and mighty to come down to talk with the program manager, to talk with the project manager, that all of a sudden it's going to roll downhill when things start going left and it's not aligned with the organizational vision. Let's move on to point number 5. Decision making. You know, I always share, you know, there's a difference, and I got this from Myron Gold, I always give him credit, the difference between decision and choice. And I remixed it in a sense of saying, when you make a decision, the choice doesn't even matter. And the reason why I say that is because, you know, it's like that try factor when I told you what Les Brown said, when, you know, when someone says, I'm going to try and be there. And he said, well, you don't try and sit down, either you sit down or you don't. And so as a portfolio manager, when you make a decision, you play a key role in decision making. That includes everything from the initiation to the continuation, from the termination of projects or programs within the portfolio. So you have to be equipped enough to say, hey, you know what, this project is not providing the value that we thought it was going to. So instead of getting in deeper, let's go ahead and cut it. Same thing with programs. So, you know, family, what I'm saying to you about portfolio management is having the ability to make a decision, trust your instinct, trust the information that you got, and move forward. Let's move on to point number 6. Point number 6 is performance measurements. What does that mean? KPIs. I'm actually reading a book called, I think it's called Key Performance Influence, Key Performance In, but this is about key performance indicators. Reason why I believe that you have to be an influence into as a portfolio manager, because there are so many people trying to take your time. There's so many people trying to impose how you should be running the overall portfolio of the organization, and they're not even doing their homework of having the interviews with program and project managers. They're not doing their interviews by meeting with the stakeholders. They're not doing their interviews by talking with the executive team to find out what is the need, what is the direction, where's the organization going. And how you do that is you measure what the decisions were made by putting key performance indicators in place to say, hey, these are the indicators we plan on hitting. If we're not achieving this, we may need to look to pivot. And if we don't pivot, this is the outcome or the results that may happen. Point number 7, project interdependencies. What does that mean? Portfolio managers have to consider how projects and programs really within the portfolio interact, ensuring that interdependencies are managed effectively. That just basically means, family, that when a portfolio manager is putting together a collection of projects and programs, they have to understand, how does this project interact with this? How does this project help the other project? That's really the basis of it, family. Let's move on to point number 8. This is a bonus for you. I told you I'm feeling like over delivering. Governance. Listen, I know everybody don't like to follow systems and process. I'll be the first one to tell you, sometimes, you know, I'll get in my own way and don't like to follow them either. But even though I don't like to follow them at times, I still document the decision that was made. I still document the pivot that was made. And the only reason why I do that is because if the way that we were going was not working and we have to make the adjustment, we have to adapt, we need to document that so we can put it into governance so it can be structured in a way that makes sense for the programs and projects. So governance, so when a portfolio manager puts together governance, and again, I say this, the exceptional program portfolio managers, they come down and talk. I mean, when I say come down, I don't mean put them on a pedestal, but what I'm saying is a portfolio manager, they really get to the root of everything. They talk to the stakeholders, they talk to the project managers, they talk to the program managers to ensure that the governance that's in place is aligned to where everything is, because they're not in the day-to-day like a project manager would normally be. And if you're going to put governance in place, how are you going to put governance in place and you don't even understand what's going on day to day? You saying, well, project status reports are due every Monday, but why? I mean, what happens where if you have a project that on Mondays, that is like your most busiest days and that's where you get the most accomplished. So having the ability to understand what your project manager is doing, understanding their workload, same thing with program manager, will make governance much easier for you. Hey family, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My name is ED. Until next time, I'm out.